Okay, I've been making YouTube videos for a year and I am a tech nerd, and I have learned that you should be working smarter and not harder when it comes to producing your videos. The thing that I've noticed is that people care and will stay on your content when you have good audio over good video. They don't necessarily care about the prettiest video, the most well-lit video, the highest resolution, but they do care about how the audio sounds. And right now, you are hearing my phone audio because today we're gonna be testing 3 different relatively cheap microphones that are really well reviewed for your TikTok and YouTube content, because getting good audio nowadays is plug and play. Getting good audio used to be really time consuming and expensive. You needed professional audio equipment. And in the last, I would say, couple of years, a ton of companies have started to release little tiny wireless microphones that I'm sure you've seen all over the internet. Today, I've picked 3 different wireless microphones that we're gonna be testing that are from well-known brands. The first one is the DJI Mic Mini, which is new. It is $170. The next one we're gonna be testing is the Hollyland Lark M2S, which is brand new. And then the third is actually from a company called North, and it's $40, and it's their wireless microphone set that I found at Target. The reason why I picked these microphones is that the DJI and the Hollyland are from really well-known brands that have been making wireless microphones. And the third one from North is your more traditional cheap microphone that you're probably gonna see on Amazon and TikTok. And they're kind of a dime a dozen. And so I wanted to see if this offering that you could just go buy in stores is actually worth it. So right now, the audio you've been hearing is from my phone. And for each microphone review, I'm going to be using the microphones so you can actually hear what they sound like. So coming up first is the DJI Mic Mini for $170. Okay, so up first, we're gonna start with the most expensive, which is the DJI Mic Mini. You can see it right here, it's tiny. Now, if you don't know, DJI has actually been making wireless microphones for a couple of years now that have been really well reviewed. They have the DJI Mic 1 and the DJI Mic 2, which I have talked about on my channel before because DJI has just done a really good job with these microphones, but those versions are $349 and geared towards creative professionals. The Mic Mini is the first entry from DJI that is really geared towards content creators because it is plug and play and super simple. In the DJI Mic Mini case, it's a very cute, well-made little case that charges all of the different components. So when you open it, you have space for 2 microphones and a space for the receiver, which you plug into your phone, which I have plugged in my phone right now. The receiver plugs in with USB-C or with Lightning. You can buy a little adapter. So if you have an older iPhone, that's great for you. And you can actually plug it into a professional camera with an audio jack. So the mic itself is really, really small and light, which is great because you can put it on any piece of clothing and it's not going to weigh it down too much. You can see right here on the back, we have a magnet that you can attach to anything, which is great. And you have this clip right here, which doesn't open the widest, but it is really useful. Most of the time I just use the magnet because it's easier, but I can clip it to something if I want to. And this is a pretty common design that you will see in the wireless microphone space. It's usually a magnet, it's usually a clip. There hasn't been anything done that's super interesting except for our next entry. Also, all of these microphones come with noise cancellation, and I'm going to test that at the end of this video so you can see the differences between the 3. For now, this was the way that the DJI Mic Mini sounds. Okay, next up, we actually have the Hollyland Lark M2S, which is right there. And the reason why I'm super excited about this mic is 2 different reasons. The first one is Hollyland is the longest mic manufacturer on this list. DJI is new to it. North, I think it's their first and only microphone. Hollyland's been making microphones and wireless microphones for a long time that are really well reviewed. The Lark M2S is interesting because it is super plug and play, and these microphones have a really cool design, which is the second reason why I'm very excited about these. So this is the Lark M2S case. It's smaller than the DJI because the actual receiver and the microphones are smaller, but you can get a larger version that has another accessory to plug into your camera. The version that I have just plugs directly into any device that's USB-C and has space for both mics right here and the receiver right here. Let's take a look at the way that the actual mic is designed. I feel like a real YouTuber. I'm gonna have to use my hand to get this to focus. So this is the actual microphone right here, and you can see the battery and all of the hardware is in this little pod, and the entire mic itself is a clip. So what's cool is that this other side is the actual microphone itself. So when I'm wearing it, it looks really professional. It looks like a lav mic because that's like the design it's going after, but it also stays in place. It's got a very wide range that it can hold onto, and no logo. very professional, very streamlined, very interesting. I really hope that this mic sounds really good because Hollyland's known for sounding really good, and this design would make my life so much easier because they are so small, so plug and play, and completely hidden. Now, the one thing that I could see being an issue with this mic setup is the fact that the microphone is facing out, and on the Mic Mini, the microphone is facing up. So you get a little bit of directionality and you can point it directly at your talent and the voice and where the sound is coming from. So this one, I really hope does a good job picking up my voice, because otherwise that would be really disappointing. But I think fingers crossed will be good. So this is what the Hollyland Lark M2S sounds like. And the next one that we're gonna be getting into is the North wireless microphones for 40 bucks. Okay, now we are looking at the North wireless microphones. The only thing that really matters with these microphones is how they sound, because the design you can obviously see is not the most streamlined. It comes with just a basic clip. There is no magnet, so I have to put this microphone here. And it's obviously the largest. This is the case. I'm actually really surprised that it comes with a case, especially for this price. And the case actually charges both microphones when you plug it in. This case does not have a battery built in, so it will not do that otherwise. Something to note is that it's not the most high quality case. It's definitely the biggest, the most bulky, the most basic, and it's just like very light, cheap plastic. So I don't have the most confidence in the way that this is, but especially if these mics, I feel like sound good, they're probably best if you're just looking to make your audio calls sound a lot better. So whether it's video calls for work or you do online presentations, because they're so cheap, this would probably be the perfect fit for you, depending on how they sound. That remains to be seen. Okay, so we are in my bathroom right now, and this is my phone audio, and I've got both syncs running, and I have background like cafe noise playing. So this will give you an idea of exactly how echoey and loud it is in here, which I think will be really difficult for the mics to like isolate my voice and sound good, but let's see what they sound like. Okay, so right now we are using the DJI Mic Mini right here on the lowest noise cancellation setting. Now, I've noticed that this is a common trend. Like, you can do voice isolation on editing software, so I can do that already with any microphone. But I've noticed that a lot of new microphones that are trying to be plug and play will add onboard voice isolation. And for all of these, I'm only gonna be using the lowest level because the highest levels always sound really processed and difficult. And it's just that's never a voice isolation level that I would be using to make a video that sounds good. So this is the DJI Mic Mini. Okay, now we are using the Hollyland Lark, that name. Now we are using the Hollyland Lark M2S, which is the newest contender, and Hollyland usually has pretty good voice isolation. There's 2 levels on this one. There's low and high, just like the Mic Mini, and this is what it sounds like. I really hope that it's doing a good job of just dimming the background noise, not removing it completely, because to remove it completely, it would sound too artificial and processed, and that's never what you want out of a mic. I am also curious to see how the placement of these mics affects this test, because most of the time I will film in a quiet environment, like as quiet as it can get it, but every now and then you've got car noise, you've got planes, you've got dogs barking, and just being able to pull focus onto the mic, no matter where it's located, I think is really important. So fingers crossed this one sounds good because it's definitely the design I like the most. And this is the Hollyland Lark M2S. And last and maybe least is the North wireless microphone. This microphone's interesting because you cannot turn off the audio processing for voice isolation at all. There's 3 different levels on this one. So for the original test that you heard, that was on level 1 because that's just the default that's always turned on. So I went ahead and went to level 2, and then I know level 3 will be the most intense. I'm very curious to see, for $40, can the North wireless microphones isolate any of this, or does it just sound a mess? Okay, so that is all of our tests. I just listened to everything, and the winner that I think is worth the money is the one I'm wearing right now. It's the Hollyland Lark M2S. Now, there's a couple reasons for this. It is $119, which comes with 2 microphones and the receiver and the battery case, which is like really hard to beat. The Mic Mini, when that got announced a couple of months ago, was already a great deal. And especially from a well-known brand, the Lark M2S being this price is actually kind of wild, especially because you can plug and play, and they offer a bunch of different packages that include one mic here with this attachment or this attachment or this attachment. So you can really customize it to the way that you want and really fit your budget. and the audio just sounds really good. Right now you're hearing it just clipped to my shirt right here, and I actually put on the voice isolation for this section because this is probably how I'm going to use this mic moving forward. I like a little bit of voice isolation so that way any echoey, any reverberation that might come from my house because I'm just filming in my kitchen will get minimized. Now, there's other things that I want to note. The North wireless microphones, it is a good attempt at wireless microphones, but I mean, you guys could hear it. It actually did a really good job isolating my voice in the voice isolation test, but it just didn't sound very good. It sounded like a phone call. It sounded like a crappy microphone on your phone in general. So for $40, I don't know if this would be worth it unless you really, really need for a low budget to record 2 people at once. Then maybe I could see it. But especially if the difference is like $60 to $80 to get this package with Hollyland, and especially if it's ever on sale, I would say just save up your money or split the payments over a couple of months and just go for this one because you'll be much happier in the long run. And then the DJI Mic Mini, I'm actually kind of shocked. I thought that I was gonna be using the Mic Mini for the foreseeable future. It was smaller, it was lighter, it was more simple than their Mic 2 and Mic 1 offering. But this design is so hard to beat, especially because the project that I mentioned in my last video, spoiler, I am working on a new project. I'm gonna be interviewing other people. And so being able to clip this to any of my guests' clothing is just like a no-brainer. And I think it looks really clean when the DJI Mic Mini has the logo and is a bit bigger and is just more visible in general. So since they're so similar in the feature set and I will never be plugging this into a professional camera, I am really happy with the money that I spent. I think that this is totally worth it. And if you are looking to getting into content creation, having a good microphone is where you should start. Now, I film all of my videos with my phone, and I've also been trying to make this whole process a lot easier and more simple for myself, and I've figured out how to do it. I now record with wireless microphones with my phone, a tripod, a very inexpensive light, and all of this records to the hard drive that I connect to my computer and edit these videos with. So if you want to know how I do my YouTube setup, please leave a comment below because I will probably do that as a video in the future. And I want to hear your thoughts and questions because it took me months to figure out how to do this. And it's taken me the entire last year to do this well and really efficiently. And I would love to share what I figured out with you guys. So without further ado, that is my video for this week. And I will see you guys in the next one. Also, if you like this, please hit subscribe. I love seeing people coming back and seeing videos. And I mean, there's going to be free content for the rest of the year. So why not? With that, I will see you guys next time.